Here we go. What a performance on the road in Game 5 for our Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers pull off a victory that I haven't seen a lot in my lifetime. They go on the road in Boston, and they take down the Celtics 115-103 as the series now shifts back to Philadelphia for a closeout game in South Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center on Thursday night. This is 76ers Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for being with us. And this is the first time that the Sixers have won a Game 5 in a second-round series in their last 7 opportunities. That's wild. Last time they did that, all the way back in 2001. The last time they beat the Celtics in a playoff series, 1982. Now, during our watch party, appreciate everybody who joined us, got us past 9,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, do so right now. I talked about this in the pregame, that outside of Joel Embiid and James Harden, other players had to step up. This had to be a collective effort. You can get some support during home games from some of your role players, but on the road, hostile environment where you haven't won a lot of games, who else outside of the two horses is going to rise up to the occasion? I had also said that for the Philadelphia 76ers to win, Joel Embiid needed to be the best player on the floor. Get this off the screen, by the way. It says Knicks. And Joel Embiid was the MVP in this basketball game. And by far, the most dominant player in this game. And right from the jump, I love how Embiid was able to show aggression, how Embiid was able to take over the game. And it wasn't just offensively, where he exploited a couple of mismatches against some smaller players. He actually did fare well against Al Horford on some of those dribble pull-ups off the two-man action with James Harden. He kind of lived right around the elbow, right around the free throw line in that mid-range area, and he was cash from there all throughout the night. And for Embiid, able to hit a couple of three-pointers in this game as well, and I thought that really benefited him. Embiid clearly isn't 100%, right? But if he's able to knock down a couple of threes, it helps him because it gives him more spacing as an offensive player. And not only does that open up opportunities for him, it opens up some opportunities for his teammates as well. Defenders have to sag off so he can get them to bite on a pump fake, beat them off the dribble, or just get more space to shoot the three. He was 3 of 7, 10 of 11 at the free throw line as the Sixers were money from the stripe in this game as well. Embiid, this was a legacy potential game for him. Arguably the biggest game of his career, considering where he is in his career, coming off the MVP, the opponent, and his track record in the playoffs. He showed up, but it does not end here. Have to close the series out on Thursday night in Philadelphia. But to show some love to Joel Embiid, type MVP down in the comment section. What a performance. What a spectacle from Embiid tonight. More on Maxey, who people were calling Mayor Maxey because Jim Kenny's a fraud. More on Tobias Harris. More on what the Celtics did or did not do. All coming up, as well as your questions and your super chats. But first, our post-game show presented by Underdog Fantasy. Really excited to partner up with the best fantasy sports app in the game. You can get 20 times your money if you get 5 picks right with Underdog Fantasy and a 100% deposit match at chatsports.com/underdog, promo code CHATSPORTS. With Underdog Fantasy, we're thrilled to announce our new partner. It's the ultimate hub for best ball and pick'em enthusiasts with a variety of games and the chance to win millions in season-long fantasy tournaments you'll never want to play anywhere else. Enjoy their easy-to-use platform, custom rankings, and superior customer support to help elevate your fantasy experience. Super chat coming in from Eagles Guru. He comes in with the 5. Thank you so much for that. The Legend, great logo. I remember, you're an OG. Joe Mazzulla makes Doc Rivers look like Popovich. Number 2, Niang should get 0 minutes. Daniel House season. Embiid without the brace is dangerous. So Doc Rivers has abused Joe Mazzulla like a punching bag in this series. With how Daniel House played, he's a good athletic matchup against the Celtics. I'm interested to see if he's in the rotation more in Game 6. Last night for the Lakers, it was Lonnie Walker saving the day. At moments in this game, it was Daniel House saving the game. And Embiid without the brace, even with the brace, sometimes the dude is just different. Thomas Bridges with the $2 super chat. If you're a betting man, it's going 7 games, yeah? Wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, this is the thing. The Sixers are going to go back home. The place is going to be ready to explode. I think that the first quarter could really go a long way in determining that basketball game. If the Sixers come out tight, they're missing shots, the Celtics are free-flowing, then the air comes out of the arena, and it's sphincter-tightening season. With the Celtics, though, if it's a close game late, you might have to side with Philadelphia because they've been awful in those situations. So let's hear from you. Who wins Game 6? PHI for Philadelphia, BOS for the Boston Celtics. Get those predictions in. And let's continue to talk about this game. Tobias Harris, he was in foul trouble all night, but an efficient game for Toby. Good on defense. Jason Tatum was getting calls all throughout the night. But regardless, Toby had a good game when he needed to. 16 points, 11 rebounds, 7 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3. Tyrese Maxey finally broke out. He was my X factor going into this game. And I had said, Maxey needs to perform. You can't count on James Harden to go 45 in Game 1, 42 in Game 4, and then duplicate that performance once again. Harden has already won you 2 games in this series. Embiid, Maxey, the 2 calling cards for the Sixers tonight, they just needed to chip in with big-time performances. They did. Maxey with the 30-piece. 10 of 21 from the floor. He had the swagger working, looking really, really confident. 6 of 12 from 3. Now, it's not to say that James Harden had a bad game because I don't think he did. As I predicted prior to the game, the Celtics were going to swarm him. The Celtics were going to double team him. They were going to throw a bunch of bodies his way. They were not going to let James Harden beat them because he had already taken the 2 wins prior to tonight in this series. And that was the importance of Maxey shouldering some of the load because I thought that the Celtics were going to have a different defensive game plan against Harden, and that's exactly what they did. Still notched a double-double, 17-10. 8 rebounds as well. Only took 8 shots. That was a little bit of a surprise. Able to get to the free throw line in some critical moments. But James Harden did a good job of letting the game come to him and didn't force the issue. If you're hyped about this win, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and do not forget to subscribe. Coop, we have to talk about Daniel House. Daniel House was certainly the biggest surprise of this Game 5 victory for the Sixers. He was getting DNP'd out of the rotation. Such a similar story to Lonnie Walker for the Lakers. If you watch that game on Monday night, right? Lonnie Walker was legit out of the rotation, especially with Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley coming in. Daniel House was out of the rotation. Lonnie Walker goes off for 15 points on the fourth quarter, helping to lift that Lakers team to a massive win. Daniel House, he comes in, he gives his team energy. He gave them athleticism. He ran the floor really well. He finished around the rim. And him getting minutes over George Niang is a Doc Rivers wrinkle that deserves a lot of credit. Because George Niang, if he's not hitting threes, he's a liability. Can't defend. He's not twitchy. He's not athletic. Guys will blow by him off the dribble. He's good as a standstill three-point shooter. That's about it. House, on the other end, gave you an opportunity to compete. He gave you an opportunity to win this game on both ends of the floor. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and I think he's going to be in this rotation for Game 6. Doc Rivers, a little wrinkle there. Awesome stuff. Grade Doc Rivers' coaching tonight. A, B, C, D, or F? Look, I thought he did a good job. Sixers got a little bit wonky late with the Celtics reserves in. Doc Rivers, though, awesome job. As for Jason Tatum, went to the free throw line a ton. He was getting every single call. Every single call. Good game for him. First quarter, he was silent once again like he was in the first half of Game 4. But look, if nobody else shows up outside of Tatum, this can sometimes be a Celtics offense that gets a little bit stagnant. And everybody kind of looks around looking for somebody to do something. And Tatum's like, you know what? I'll force the issue. Credit to Tatum. He hasn't been aggressive in the playoffs a lot, and this has really been a storyline for him throughout his career. He actually took onus of trying to get to the rim. As for Al Horford, had a couple of really good games in Philadelphia. 0 of 7. Sixers fans will love to see that. You can make your Anna Horford jokes right now. As for Jaylen Brown, solid game for him, but he was in foul trouble. So what Joe Mazzulla has done is put Jaylen Brown on James Harden a lot. And James Harden has been able to bait Jaylen Brown into a couple of fouls. They've also had Brown on Maxey. They've had Brown matched up to a point where the Sixers have been able to target him to get him into some foul trouble where sometimes they don't have to worry about him being on the floor just because he is in that foul trouble. Again, that's part of the game plan. That's part of the game report. Those are the things that you're trying to really identify and take advantage of, and Doc Rivers has done that, but it all comes down to Game 6. If the Sixers have to go on the road to win a Game 7 in Boston, that's going to be very difficult to do. That means that they would have gone on the road and won 3 road playoff games if they squander Game 6. Take advantage, leave no doubt, seize the opportunity. This is a legacy series potential for James Harden and Joel Embiid. Get it done. So who wins Game 6? PHI for the Sixers, BOS for the Celtics. We'll be back, of course, for a Game 6 watch party Thursday night. Cannot wait for it.